Hey guys, my name's Khadroth, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the Karnamas rerun that is upcoming here on NA. Now, the Karnamas rerun is going to be another lottery event. I know you guys are freaking out hearing that because we just got done with a lotto, but that lotto is going to be a limited lotto. That is to say, you're only going to be able to farm basically 20 boxes in it. Normally, with limited lottos, the restriction is 10, but due to Karnamas having a unique black box mechanic, it's going to be 20 instead for that one. So you will be able to get a little bit more, but it will be capped out. So before we get too deep into discussing that, I did want to quickly kind of show you guys a little bit the upcoming schedule here. Again, we just got done here with the Fairy Night Cup. It is currently the 22nd, the day after the Lotto as of the recording of this video. So basically, we are still 2 days ahead, since that would be the 24th basically instead on JP's server. So we're still a little bit ahead of time. Again, we do have certain things upcoming here, particularly the Advanced Quest Part 11. And as we move into December, we are going to get, again, some more of the Road to 7 campaigns and pre-release support campaigns prior to Karnamas. Now, we probably won't get anything for Melty Blood because we should have already had this. This banner in particular happens to be our current Thanksgiving banner. I do think you can expect some sort of advent calendar again announcement, as that'll probably come maybe with a dev diary or something like that. I don't know. We'll just have to keep our eyes peeled for what they're going to do. But I think you guys can kind of expect that. We will get the 2700 days anniversary, though we usually get that ahead. In fact, we may have already had it. I'm not sure on that one. Again, the pre-release support campaign part 4. A lot of these are going to have really nice lucrative banners. Units like Koyanskaya, Oberon, Melson, Muramasa, a bunch of them coming back. So you want to, again, pay attention. You know, you've got these really lucrative, really desirable units coming up, but there is going to be LB7 coming. Now, with LB7's launch, just a bit of a PSA on that front, you will not immediately get new units. In fact, the first new unit basically for LB7 will actually come at New Year's. And then where you'll really start to see them from there is we are going to end up getting another new unit in between the release of part 1 of LB7 and part 2. And then with part 2, you will get actual banners for the LB7 units. So that's, again, kind of how you guys can expect that to go. But so if you're somebody that's maybe trying to save quartz, especially for some of the units coming up next year, this may be something that you need to plan accordingly for. Because, again, there are going to be some really nice meta support units and rare units coming back here in these support campaigns. So it's up to you to determine where and how you want to roll. Again, we will have an advanced quest there basically at the end of the year to close things out. We can expect LB7 probably to launch about the same time, just about on Christmas. Again, I don't anticipate that moving. There's a reason I don't anticipate that moving, but I'd rather not get into spoiler reasons. So again, just expect it basically Christmas Day. We will have a story chapter release instead of a lotto this time, which is definitely, I think, preferable for most people. But either way, again, I don't think you're going to get too much here. We probably won't get necessarily anything like the Winter Party campaign. We usually don't get these because these were IRL events over in Japan. Now, looking at basically the Karnamas rerun here, it's been 2 years since we had the original event. Kind of looking through it here, you guys can see it is a relatively short event, as a lot of lottos are, but it is still going to be about that 12 to 13 day range. So it's not going to be like the 9-day sort of Marthamas lotto that we had last year. So things will at least have some time. It is a light version of the event, meaning that the shop should be a little bit easier to manage. Again, a lot of people are going to ask, can you do this on Nat AP? Can you get to the 20 boxes? The answer is yes. If you're struggling, though, for whatever reason, for efficiency purposes, do keep in mind you can pop an apple or two if you need to. It's not the end of the world. I would recommend getting all 20 boxes here, though, because they are quite lucrative, and I'm going to tell you why here in a second. Again, the only requirement for the event is that you have cleared Fuyuki, so nothing too bad there. But basically, as we mentioned before, there is a unique black box mechanic in this. So essentially, you're going to want to participate in the lottery. That's going to get you those festive wrappings, basically. And then as you do that, you'll be able to roll out your boxes for the lotto. And those boxes are going to include black boxes inside of them. So the normal lotto boxes will have black boxes inside of them. Those black boxes are going to be what you're going to want to do in order to advance the story. It will be time gated, but it again will also have a black box component to it. So you're going to need to open your lotto boxes rather than try to hoard them until the end. For those of you guys that already do something like that, you're perfectly fine. Santa Karna is going to be the welfare. I have actually apparently not done a video on him, so we'll probably do a video on him and Vitra since I haven't done one on her either. So again, expect those in the coming days, but this is where you will permanently unlock him. So if you're worried about making him permanent, you just have to complete the entire story, and basically from there, he should be good. There is also an exchange ticket that you guys can see, basically same things we had like back in the Nightingale Lotto and stuff. So again, you can exchange for these 3 materials. If you feel like you need one more than the other, feel free to go dogpile that, but these should also be available and things. And again, you are going to get 2 times experience whenever you level up Santa Karna. Now, looking at the event bonuses here, obviously your welfare and your new SSR, at least she was new for the original run of the event, are your 100% damage bonus units. They have a 50% bond bonus as well, but ultimately there is no sort of like drop efficiency bonus or anything like that, so you can use whoever you want. Do keep in mind, though, that obviously using damage bonus units is going to go a lot further for you, and you can see we do have a couple in here. Basically, everybody that was damage bonus in the old event, and a couple surprises, units like Santa Martha that have kind of been added now after the fact, because, again, she is another Santa unit and should have bonus. But definitely, again, you can take these units. It'll probably make your time in the nodes a little bit easier since they hit a bit harder, but you don't have to. If you have somebody that's a little bit more robust, you can go with that instead. Cherry Icicle is actually a pretty good craft essence. At MLB, it is 50% starting charge, NP damage, and quick performance there on top of that, so it is a relatively nice one. It's sort of like the quick variant of Cranking or Ocean Flyer. The only downside is because they seemingly hate quick at times, Cherry Icicle is not all attack scaling, so it's still a really good craft essence, but it is not the best. If you're somebody that played the original event 2 years ago, you should still have these. Hopefully you saved them. This is going to allow you to be able to like just walk right in at max bonus. If you're somebody that didn't play the original event, you might struggle to complete this on Nat AP. So be careful. Again, that may be where something like maybe popping a couple apples here comes into play. It's totally up to you. However, I am also going to say Cherry Icicle, while it is a good craft essence, is not a great craft essence. So don't view it as a must MLB type situation if you're new to the event. If you get the 4 from the shop and you're like, oh man, I just need one more to MLB. Trust me when I say this, it's not the end of the world if you can't manage to get it to MLB. So again, it's up to you if you want to go after something like that. But I'm going to tell you, you don't need to go after something like that. For the event craft essences, command codes, it's the same ones that we had last time. You can see basically when attacking with the engraved card, gain 3 critical stars and heal the equipped servant by 200. And basically for your 4-star one here, it's when engraved on a buster card, increase the card's critical damage by dragon trait targets by 30%. So honestly, to me, the 4-star one here is a little bit better than the 5-star one, but it's totally up to you to determine which one you prefer in that regard. And the 3-star one here is when attacking with the engraved card, inflict poison towards the target. So if you have somebody that scales off of poison being on an enemy, this could be a really good one, someone like Robin Hood, obviously. Increase the engraved card's critical damage as well by 5%. So definitely a interesting command code there. Now, taking a look at the summoning campaign, again, this one's relatively straightforward. It's going to have Vitra, it's going to have Karna, it's going to have Arjuna, so they're all permanent units. If you're looking to hoard your quartz, this is an easy banner to save on. You do not have to go after any of these units, but if you maybe really like Vitra or you really want, a copy of Karna or Arjuna or something like that, feel free to go in. It's not that any of these units is bad, it's just that a lot of people will probably ignore this banner due to the permanent nature of the units and the possibility, at least, that they could eventually spook you. So essentially, as we look to this, you can see that there is going to be a little bit of a staggering. Basically, at the very beginning of the event, you're going to have Vitra get her banner, and then it's probably not going to be until a couple of days in here, about 4 to 5 days in, you're going to see Karna's banner, and then a day later, you're going to see Arjuna's banner show up. Again, there are pairings for the 4 stars. You can see Vitra's paired with Martha, Karna's paired with Parvati, and Arjuna is paired with Beowulf. So again, nothing too much to say about the 4 stars here, other than it's kind of evil to put 2 Lancers together, but I digress. This is something that they seem to do a lot with the Lancer category. Your rate up craft essences, again, your 5-star MLB is going to be Twinkle Star. It's going to be something that'll help you clear the shop, obviously, but it's not something you have to have in order to clear the shop. Again, it's going to be arts damage, NP damage, and gaining critical stars per turn in a split stat, so I wouldn't pay too much attention to it. The 4 star is a little bit better. It's Buster Up and critical damage, and it is all attack scaling, so that could have some potential uses. And the 3 star is Freeze Frame, which is all HP scaling, damage cut, and arts up, which can also have some potential uses, at least on a budget. Looking at our event shop here, again, we're going to basically have our 3 normal currencies and then the Christmas gongs. These are also another material that it will be found in your boxes. Think of it sort of like, again, the extra like 4th shop mat that's going to allow you to like buy these limited items. And then once it's used, it can just be converted into QP, as you see here, about 500k a pop. There should be about 4 of these things in every single box. So again, you're looking at basically another 2 million QP out of every box if that's all you're going to use them for. But this will be how you'll get your copies of Karna. So again, if you're looking for the extra NP copies, maybe you didn't finish them last time, this is going to be basically where you would get that from. Looking at the Holy Banana here, this is going to be your gold material. Obviously, you're going to get 2 copies of Cherry Icicle here. Again, this is your Lotto CE, so this is going to be probably what most people will want to equip. Though keep in mind, there will be that concern over clearing the shop in this time period if you're trying to do everything on Nat AP. And so from there, you can also see this is going to be where the 5-star command code is for people that didn't get it the first time around. Again, if you did, it is what it is. It's probably not going to let you buy it. But again, there's nothing you can do about it. It's also going to be where you're going to get Karna's coins. Again, this is definitely going to be nice. You don't want to miss out on the coins if he's someone you really like. Even if he's someone that you rarely use, getting the coins can still be worth it because unlocking the appends can kind of change how a unit functions at times. So getting things like his mana loading online, or again, even something like crit damage could also really help him. Taking a look basically here at the materials from the gold mat, you can see we get Dragon Reverse Scales, which are relatively rare, especially nowadays on NA. You know, back in the early days of FGO, they were a lot more common, but if you're a newer player, you're probably not going to have nearly as many Dragon Reverse Scales. Your LB3 reactor cores are going to be here, your LB5 Radiant Silver Crowns, and then basically your gold statues and monuments. Because this isn't an unlimited lotto, getting things like the statues may be a harder pick. I would leave them till last, and if they're all that's left in the shop and you run out of time, it's no skin off your back. But I would make sure that you purchase them last out of everything on this list. Again, the gold foes here for the HP ones at least are going to be in this, and they're also worthy of your attention. For the Saint Bars, this is going to be your silver material. You got another copy of Cherry Icicle, the 4-star command code here, more of the Karna coins. And then for the materials, we've got Scarab's Wisdom, Permafrost Ice Crystals, and Fangs. And then we've also got the silver monuments here and statues. So again, same deal. If you find that you just don't have the time to actually get all of these out of the shop, it's A-okay. I would also leave them for last. We also have one more copy of a gold HP foe there. And then last but not least, with the bronze material, the cool gum, we've got a 4th copy of Cherry Icicle, the 3-star command code, more Karna coins, and then basically the Serpent Jewels, the Howling Stakes, basically, and the Unlucky Bones are going to be your, again, materials out of this. We have one last 4-star basically HP foe here, so that's going to make 4 copies of that. and then essentially your normal foes, and that's going to be how you round out the shop. Main quests are, again, as we mentioned, I'm not going to get too spoilery here, but they do basically require that you get black box amounts to unlock. I don't believe it consumes the black boxes, but there is, again, like a requirement that you have achieved a certain amount. So like I said, this is going to require you to open your boxes in order to progress through the event. Again, there is a time lock component to this, so don't just immediately open your boxes and go like, why can't I advance? There will be a time lock, but as long as you are opening them steadily, you should be fine. You don't necessarily have to hoard them in any way, shape, or form. You will, again, get a guaranteed 3-star CE of freeze frame there out of the initial quest, but otherwise, again, you guys can kind of just expect, par for the course in this regard. It's going to function exactly how most of them do. There is a grail at the end of the event. However, if you have already done the event and gotten the grail, you will instead get a crystallized lore. So just something that you should kind of consider in your calculations. With regards to the free quests, again, this is going to be how things are going to work. Kind of basically day one, you're going to have the sort of crappy nodes available to you. You're not going to get new nodes until more of them unlock. So it's up to you how to do this. Usually I kind of go through once or twice on each of these. Maybe if you're somebody that needs to unlock some of the shop CEs for Lotto currency, you can certainly go a little bit here and try to actually get them done. But if someone that already has it, this is basically going to be the immediate like Nat AP node. You're not really going to want to pop any apples until the end. That's up to you to determine how you want to do this. Again, remember, there is a cap of 20 boxes, so there's only going to be so much you can farm. But yeah, basically day one's nodes are the worst. If you have to sit on any of them, I recommend sitting on the advanced node. It should be the gold node here, and that should have the best rate of return, but it's still not going to be a good rate of return. Then you're going to get round two basically the next day. Again, things are just going to kind of keep progressing. So basically where you're going to want to kind of turn on everything is when we start getting to the final rounds here. Again, you guys can see here is your 90 node. It is going to essentially be your heavyweight node, as we like to call it. It's a 333 Lancer node. Nothing too difficult for most people. A lot of people should have a good either loopable or 3-turnable AoE saber at this point. So that one's just going to drop the Lotto currency, nothing else. But again, you can farm that if you so choose. Then we get the super heavyweight round. This is going to be your 90 plus, and this one is going to be a 212 Lancer node. Again, we did have this in the prior run of the Lotto, but we are going to have a 90 plus here. So this will drop not only your lottery bandages here, but basically also all of your gacha currencies as well. So if anything, I recommend doing at least the 90 plus, as it's going to be the most efficient thing to not only get you to your 20 boxes, but also to help you clear the shop in that regard. So I would wait until at least this point, at least the 90 plus point, before you start considering popping apples if you can. Then basically we have the ultra heavyweight version. This is going to be our new node. This is the 90 plus node, which again, 2 years ago when this came out, there were not plus nodes. So now we have a 132 Berserker node. Again, you have a 1 million HP unit here. It's ultra heavy maternal love, so you can guess who that is. And certainly there's going to be quite a bit of things that you can exploit against her. Again, just popping Raiko back open here. You can see she is divine. She is Genji, so you have that potential right there. She is a writing traded servant. So there's definitely going to be some exploitations that you can use here. In fact, even somebody as nice as like Mao Nobu can really pop off in a situation like this. So this is going to be the node that you're going to want to probably do. It's going to give you the most efficiency. And again, it should be at least possible to 6-slot, though it will not be the easiest thing in the world due to the sheer amount of, again, HP. Trying to use those damage bonus units should help you out, But just keep in mind that because it's berserkers, everyone's kind of effective, so they usually kind of bump up the berserker HP values a little bit to help with that. And that's why you do see at least like a reasonably beefy middle node here, but then a 300k enemy right at the very beginning. So this is going to be a little bit of a lopsided thing, as you're going to need to be able to do good damage out of the punch, and then basically also do good damage for the end, with the least amount of damage actually coming in wave 2. So there will be people that will be capable of doing this. A lot of solutions should be available. No, we're not going to be doing a lot of spreadsheet for this because, again, it's capped. So worst case scenario, you struggle bust through it. If you don't 3-turn, it's not the end of the world, since a lot of you should be operating on Nat AP. There will also be a node at the end. Again, you can see the Holy Knights Boxing Festival. This will cost you some of the bells that, again, you get from the Lotto boxes. I recommend doing this at least once if possible, and you might not necessarily have enough to full clear the bell shop if that's the case. But if you will remember, just kind of scrolling back up here, let's go back. Let's look at the event shop. Look at the Christmas gongs here, the bells, aka. And you can see there are command code removers here in this. So if you have to skimp on anything, skimp on these because they are relatively worthless. So again, if that allows you to be able to do the final, whoops, I skipped ahead, allows you to be able to do at least the final node once, go ahead with it. I do not recommend doing the final node multiple times because remember, you are limited as to how many gongs you can get. If this were an unlimited lotto, you could certainly farm this quite a bit, but because it is limited, I do not recommend it. So do it the one time, get yourself the ticket, and then you're good. Otherwise, not really worth. Again, and that's kind of going to be your nodes for the event. So like I said, wait until the 90 plus, wait until the plus plus. Those two are going to be your actual efficient nodes to pop apples. So if you find that you're behind and that you're needing to catch up, like certainly if you haven't managed to get enough currency to open the black boxes to advance in the event, you might have to pop an apple. But my advice is to wait and preserve your apples until those nodes unlock. Looking at the lottery itself and what the boxes are going to give you, it says no reset limit. This is a lie. It's just fandom copy and pasting. But essentially, you're going to have, again, some normal rewards here. So there is a grand prize. It's going to basically, for the first 4 boxes, be Karna's punching bag. This is going to be his ascension material. So not his additional NP copies, but the thing that's going to allow him to level up. So you definitely want to make sure you get those. Basically, box 5 is going to have the exchange ticket that makes him permanent. At least I believe that's what it is, but I may be incorrect on that because I believe that doesn't happen until at least the epilogue. And then basically you're going to, with box 6, have the crystallized lore. And for 7 through 10, you're going to get 4 copies basically of the attack gold foes. So right there, that's going to counterbalance the 4 HP foes that you got in the shop, and now you end up even. And then from boxes 11 through 20, normally it's 11 through infinity, but because it's capped at 20 this time, it only goes up to this. There is no grand prize. So essentially, these are going to be the rewards that you guys are going to get for the first 10 boxes. It does include things like gold apples and silver apples that go away. But at least for these first 10, you are going to get all of this, including more black boxes, as we mentioned. And then your actual Lotto box materials here are going to be meteor horseshoes, seeds, dust, and then cerebrospinal fluid. But again, remember, you are limited. There are only 20 boxes, so basically take each of these times 20. So you're going to get 40 meteor horseshoes, 40 seeds, 40 dust, and basically 60 cerebrospinal fluid out of this. Again, from here you guys can see it. You do kind of lose a couple items, particularly the gold and silver. The gold and silver apples, and then, like we mentioned, the sort of like jackpot rewards, the grand prize rewards. There is a special secondary lotto here, though, and it's the black box lotto. So as we mentioned, you will get black boxes from the normal lotto boxes. These are required to progress the event, but they are not consumed by the event in that way. How you're going to consume them is here. They're going to be their own lottery that you can roll out. You are only going to get 200 total black boxes, though, throughout the entire event, and that requires you to do everything. This includes opening up all of your 20 boxes, all of your 20 normal boxes, plus doing all of the Santa quests that are kind of listed here. Each one of these Santa matches will award you some, again, nice rewards, but also several black boxes. So you guys want to make sure you do all of these in due time to make sure that you unlock every single black box that you can. And part of the reason for why, and again, you can see there's a crystallized lore there for completing the final one, but the reason why is because as you look to this special black box lotto, you can see it has some very lucrative rewards in here, including yet another crystallized lore, a summon ticket, multiple quartz fragments, up to basically 7 quartz worth there, or sorry, 9 quartz worth there, did that backwards, and then a rare prism on top of several golden apples, and then basically 10 of each of these materials and 39 5-star embers. So it is a really, really nice system. And basically, this is a good thing and something that you want to make sure that you get all of them for, so that you don't lose out on any of these relatively lucrative materials. Again, we already explained the Santa matches, and so all we have left is the challenge quest. I'm not going to get too deep in here, but naturally there is going to at least be a comet shard that you get from this and a crystallized lore. So again, it's up to you. You're basically going to be fighting against Karna here, and again, there are numerous solutions to something like this. But remember, at the end of the day, you do have damage bonus in the event. Make use of it. Try to get the best bang for your buck and enjoy the farm. Like I said, it's just going to kind of be a pretty chill one. Try to nat AP it as much as you can. If you feel like you can't do it on nat AP, at least wait until the last 2 nodes there before you finally actually start to pop the apples. So again, I hope you guys found this informative. I will see you guys for the next one. Good luck on all of your rolls, and have a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas.